Hello everyone, it is day 4 of this week's Facebook Live challenge, and today is a hot topic on how to deal with criticism and the haters. And so I really want you to hone in on some of the fears that often come up with going live, because a big part of it is because we're afraid of being criticized, we're afraid of looking stupid. There's so much in this society now that people feel like they can anonymously or even personally attack other people online and think that it's okay. And so it's super important. Welcome to those of you who are coming on. And so it's really important that, because it does exist, that we know how to deal with it, but then also how to just not let it be a part of our lives. And so what I'm going to do first is talk about just the logistical part of things, just the practical side of things that you can do. Good morning, Darla. Nice to see you here. But just what you can do online just to take care of it. And then we're going to go into the kind of the psychological aspect of it. How do you approach this? Excuse me. And so in terms of the practical side, for example, when negative comments come through, all of that, you can simply hide and delete. Here, I'm going to do this right here. You can simply hide and delete the post, y'all. And again, we're going to get into the psychological element of it. We're not getting into yet, oh my gosh, somebody did this. We're just getting into the practical side of, hey, just get rid of this, okay? So you can hide and delete. You can also ban the person from your group, from your personal page, your business page. You can just say you're not going to be a part of this. I'm not available to the negativity, so just ban them or block them completely. Especially like you do that in your personal page. If somebody's doing something, you totally block them. Thanks for the hearts, y'all. Y'all making me feel good today. And then go to your settings in your page and ban certain words. So if you get into your page, I can't show you specifically right now how to do that, but if you go under settings, you can put in certain things that you don't want to be in there, okay? That if people put it in, it's not going to let it go in. So certain words, profanity, any type of hate, you can get rid of that, all right? The same thing with moderating the posts that people can put in. Hello, Vicky. Moderating the posts that can be posted there. You can actually say, I don't want anybody to post in here. Or you can say, before it gets posted, I, as the administrator of this site or this page, I need to be able to look at it and then approve it, and then it'll go up. All right. So those are, you have full control of that. And of course, you can report the person if it's really aggressive. Oh, cool, Pat. You said that's a good tip. Awesome. And so just report them as well. If it's really abusive, totally you can do that. All right. So getting into the psychological element of it is, the haters can really, or the fear of, let me just get my notes here. Of somebody criticizing you. So the potential of it may not even happen, but the potential of it can really stop us in our tracks, but also stop us in terms of how we show up, right? We could still be making ourselves available and visible, but it still affects us, and we still kind of stay small, and we still kind of stay lukewarm. We're not really making big impact or big statements, big opinions about what we have to say. And as the experts that every single one of us in this group and everyone else who's watching, that we are, right? So really be aware of how that's affecting you, all right? So, and be also aware that what you worry, or let me say it this way, worry is a prayer for what you don't want, okay? So if you're praying or if you're worried about things happening, then it probably will happen. I'm just saying, not always, but the thing is that I'm going to give you an example, a story for me. When I was first doing Facebook Lives, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to message. I was just like, oh, okay, I see that there's this Facebook Live thing, so let me get on. I had no guidance, didn't know how to do any of this. Of course, I knew camera stuff, but I didn't know just the steps and what you do in Facebook Live. But I knew I needed to get on it and I needed to serve in some way. So I thought I had this all planned out. I had this message. And then all of a sudden, by like minute 5, this woman writes in there. She goes, "You've been talking for 5 minutes." Oh, wait, let me step back. My fear, my worry, my fear was that I wouldn't have anything to say, like that I wouldn't have any value to give to anyone, that what my expertise was in, nobody would really care, okay? And so that was my fear, and which kept me then small, because then I wasn't real, if that was my belief, then of course I wouldn't go out as much as I probably could have to really share my message. So around 5 minutes, the 5-minute mark, this woman pops on, and she types in, she goes, "You've been talking for 5 minutes and you haven't said one thing." And I was like, that's exactly my fear. But I thought I had some good points, that could help people. And so if any of you can relate to this, give me some hearts, some thumbs up, that it can be pretty daunting. And then what do you do in the middle of it? How do you address that, right? And so it might happen. It's gonna happen. However you want. Thanks for the heart, y'all. You just don't know when it's gonna happen and if it's gonna happen. All right. And the thing is a lot of people will say, when you start getting the haters, that's a good thing. That means you're making an impact. And to some extent, I agree, because when you really start getting out there consistently and you're showing yourself as the expert and you're showing opinions, you're going to get people who don't agree with those opinions and then they want to attack, right? But I don't totally agree that just because you're successful means you're automatically going to get haters. So I don't go into that camp too much, but just know that the more people you're involved with and you're in front of, there's a higher percentage, not higher percentage, just more people, same percentage, but higher amount of people that are out there. So in terms of how to deal with this, because it's a big thing, you want to always ask, when something comes in that's maybe critical, right, or hateful, you need to ask, is this true for me? And that can be hard, because some of the things that can come in really go to the core of our fears. I need some water, I apologize. They go right to the cores, and please, throughout this whole time, I want to see some hearts and messages and comments. Oh, goodness. If any of this resonates with you. But, those things can really take us aback, because I apologize, y'all. I need to get some water. Where's my water? I need water. That it can take us aback, and because it is going straight to those core fears that we might have, or those core injuries that we've had since childhood, right? And they show up in different ways, and it's important to be able to deal with them in a kind of a objective way, right? So when these things happen, they can throw us off for an entire day with us, in crocodile tears, and throw us off from doing business for a while. And so it's really important to allow yourself to do that. Then stand in your ground and go, okay, is this true for me? What this person is saying, is it true for me? Okay? Is it justified? Is it something that is maybe true, right? And I'm going to get into how you can learn from these answers or these questions here in a second. Yeah, Kina, triggers. These messages, these comments that can come at us can trigger us so easily. And so it's important, and I'll talk about what you can learn from those triggers. Stay cool and calm, y'all. Do not get into the negativity. And y'all are going to get these notes here in a little bit. Don't get into the negativity. Don't address them. Some people will say, address it, do all that. The thing is that if you address it, you're just buying more into the negativity. And these are usually the people that have time to do things like this, and that have the mental state or the emotional state to really take the time to reach out and throw poop at you. If you respond, they're going to respond right back with even more venom. Okay. So it's up to you. You can, if you need to feel like, okay, I need to address this and answer it, then delete the butthead, then do so. Otherwise, it's really important for you to really not get into the drama. Okay. So, because it's so super important to stay in the high vibe. And that's my next point, is that you have to decide to stay in high vibe and surround yourself with a group of people. I have an amazing group of women from all over the world, and a number of you in here do too. And I'm sure everyone has their own, but I want you to really be conscious and intentional with who you surround yourself with, that will always lift you up. That when you go to them, but also they hold you accountable. That when you go to them, you can go, this is what happened. How do I deal with this? One, they will lift you up. They will help you walk through it, but they'll also hold you accountable and go, get off your butt and get back to work. Right? And they are at that high level as well, that everyone is lifting up. So I really invite you to make that decision for yourself, that when anything negative comes in, you say, I'm not available to this. I am going to step back and say, is this justified and a valid point? But am I going to let myself fall into the trap of them having the power over you to not shine your light anymore, right? And then surround yourself, whatever that means. Either it's investing in a big, beautiful mastermind group. Is it just really maybe looking at the friends who are around you and really stepping out to different networking events? Whatever it is, get with those high vibe people and be intentional with it. And then remember that when anybody does anything that's negative to you, then you have to remember it's about them. It's not about you, really, right? You're actually, and Kina mentioned this about triggers, you're triggering something in them that they felt like they had to come out and say something. It means that, one, they're probably not very happy people if they're doing this kind of stuff to people, but you're triggering things for the hearts, y'all. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, it's so true. You have to remember, something gets thrown at you, you go, how much is this? And I'm going to get back to my story about my one of my first Facebook Lives. It's all about them. It's not about you. And so it's important to separate yourself. So, for example, back to my story, when that woman said, you're not saying anything. In a sense, you've wasted my time and you're not saying anything. So after I collected myself going, after I got off the live and all, I was like, you know what, let me go and kind of research this lady, because the post was public. It was on my business page. And by the way, business pages are always public, so you can't edit the privacy settings on those. Okay. But I went onto her page, and because hers for some reason was open and public, we weren't friends, and every single post was a repost from someone else. It was an inspirational quote that she shared. It was an article that she shared. It was an image that she shared. She was not able in life, she was not able to say anything of her truth out into the world. Okay? So she was projecting that onto me because she saw that in me, or she saw an element, she saw my fear, whatever it is, even if it was subconsciously. She's like, I don't like this. You've triggered me, and I'm going to throw it at you. So when I saw that, I went, okay, some of this is justified because I am fearful, and because I'm fearful, I'm not fully expressing. So what do I need to do to learn from that? But also, it's about her. This has nothing to do with me. Okay? And so just always remember that. All right? And just remember that the triggers are not yours. They're theirs. And then finally, I want you to see how haters and criticism, thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Sakina, you just said, sorry, I need my glasses. Exactly, so unhappy. I try to find even more compassion. You just hit the nail on the head. That's something that I'm about to talk about. So thank you. So something to think about when you get these types of things that coming at you is to see where you can learn from them. When we receive them, it's feedback. It's feedback. We're having this conversation. It's a great conversation right now. That's great feedback for me too. I can see now. Okay, this is relating to who's watching. And please, y'all, if you're a return, I would say return, a replay viewer, coming or just put CTR, and that you are catching the replay, and just it's it's feedback. Lost my train of thought, but it is feedback. So when y'all are responding and interacting here, I'm understanding what's happening with you, and it's a conversation. Same thing happens when the haters come. You go, oh, okay, what kind of feedback is this? Do I need to accept it or do I need to reject it? And when I say accept it, I'm meaning, is it feedback that is justified? Is it something that can propel me forward? Because sometimes you can actually turn those haters into big fans if you reach out. If they're doing it out of compassion or just wanting to help you, you can actually turn them around and be big fans. But you can then say, okay, how much of this is true? But then also, and I'm going to actually tell you two stories of two of my friends, that it can actually, after you get this hateful whatever that comes through, and you throw your hands up and scream and wail and cry, and it wrecks you for the rest of the day because it is so personal and so opposite of what you're going for. Then what happens sometimes is that is sometimes the biggest gift, because it makes you go, wait the heck second. I am so much more impassioned to do exactly what I'm doing. Thank you so much, person who just did that, because you are really helping me solidify and stay grounded in exactly what I'm doing. Now the the boxing gloves are out in terms of I'm getting out in the world. So if you can relate to that, I'd love to see some hearts and some thumbs up. So it's a gift sometimes. And so I'm going to tell you two stories. I have a friend who, she had posted a picture, and this is just a real condensed version of the story. And thanks y'all for the hearts and thumbs up. She was posting, and some troll kept getting on there and saying, you've got a beautiful face. Maybe you shouldn't really, take pictures that show the whole aspect of yourself because you're, in a sense, you're fat. Okay, and there was this whole thing that kept coming on. And of course, it made her step back. But then what happened is she did exactly what I just said. It solidified her, like, wait, no, this is about him. There's something about him that, he has something going on, but that I've triggered. But what it did was to help her then solidify and create an entire brand around being curvy, being awesome, and then really loving her body. And bam, she's got all these followers and all these people that can totally relate. So that was a huge gift, right? Another one, she's in the fitness industry. Same type of thing happened. You're not, you're, in a sense, you're a fake, you're a fraud, you're just, making all these things, saying all these things. And I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not getting into the whole story, but it totally wrecked her for a day. And then it was like, no, this is what I'm doing. And she's so much more passionate about what she's doing. So I want you to really think about how you can think about haters and criticism in a positive way, that you can step back objectively and do that. And so as Kina mentioned, to have more compassion, I really invite you, when anything comes through, you say, okay, you just take a moment, you breathe after you've gotten past the emotional aspect. And there's some healing process, and it's a growth process, and it can actually be very beautiful. Okay? What I invite you to do is to say, okay, I'm going to bless you, I'm going to release you, I'm going to forgive you, and I'm deleting the heck you away if you need to. But when you do that, you really bring closure, okay? You don't have to delete them. If there's some positive aspect that can come from it, great. But it's really about saying, I'm going to have compassion, I'm blessing you, I'm releasing you, this doesn't have to have anything to do with me. I'm going to forgive you as well. Because if you don't go through that, you're going to hold on to it, and you're just pulling the negativity through into your life and into the world. And each one of you who is watching, and my replay viewers as well, each one of you, you're in this group, you've bought this program in the future, whatever it is, you are a light in the world. You've been placed here for a super, super, super specific, special reason. And that you've got a role to play in this world. And you cannot let these dingbats get in your way of you fulfilling your, thanks for the hearts, of you fulfilling your destiny, your purpose in this world. All right? So don't let their darkness dim your lightness. Okay? Go through all the emotional side of things. Go to those sisters and brothers that can really support you and pull you up, and then say, hey, get back to work. What are you really doing? I want to see how committed you are to your message. Do you need to hone it? Do you need to maybe add some things? Do you need to really get committed to what you're doing? Maybe this is the gift that's making it happen. All right? And so I love each and every one of you. I'm so enjoying this challenge with you all. Today, your challenge is to go and do another live. And if you are going through any fears, how about this? I'm going to change that a little bit. I want you to do a Facebook Live, either in your group, privately, and share it with me, about a fear of yourself being visible. Okay? And what you're committed to changing about that. Okay? So it can be just, one statement. It could be you talking through things and say, hey, this is what I'm going through, and this is what I'm going to do to change it. Okay? Because one aspect of effective lives and just of being effective and being visible in the world now is people need to know, like, and trust you to want to purchase from you. I know that many of us in here are business people, and that vulnerability aspect is so powerful. It humanizes you. It makes others go, oh, wow. Okay, I can relate to that. I want to follow this person. I want to learn from this person. I want to purchase from this person. Okay? So I want you to it's time. Okay? You all, those of you who have gotten on the Facebook Live for the first time, you did it. You got on. Now, let's really get in there and be real. Okay? You don't have to air your dirty laundry, but I want you to just share a fear of yours around being visible and what you're doing to change that. All right? Y'all have a wonderful day. You're going to get the handout here in a little bit. And all right, Kina says, challenge accepted. I love it. Y'all go out, shine your light brightly. It is time. It is time. It is time. No more waiting. No more waiting for others to discover you. No more hiding in a full daylight. And get out there. All right? Love you all. Bye-bye.